I trust you guys got the release. As you know, Aaron Lynch has quit the football team. I've gotten an opportunity to spend some time with Aaron over the last week to 10 days. As you know, I gave him time off from practice and wanted him to reflect on being here at Notre Dame. And the bottom line is your head and your heart has to be in it to be a Notre Dame student athlete. The challenges are great here, and if your head and heart is not in it, you just can't be successful here. So, again, Aaron and I talked about it and mutually agreed that the best decision for him is to leave the football team, which he has decided to do, and he'll finish out the semester and finish out his academics. It's important that he does that, and then he'll pursue other opportunities. So that's the Aaron Lynch story.
Brian, when did you sense that his head and heart weren't here, or was it always a struggle from the beginning?
No, I don't think it was a struggle from the beginning. I think it's when you're coaching a football team, you're always working with. And this is my 25th year working with 18 to 21-year-olds. You always have to sense that there are changes that occur as they're maturing and, seeing things from a different perspective. And I think it's something that when I walk through the locker room, I'm always trying to look for guys that, have their head down or are feeling good and reinforcing. And, I just saw that he had that body language that we needed to spend some more time with him. So as we had more dialogue and conversation, got to know a lot more about what he was thinking and how he was feeling. And I think our conversations helped him make the decision that was right for him.
When he went home last week during the Easter break,
did
you think everything was okay, that he was going to come back, or that?
Well, I knew he was coming back. But we obviously, I sent him home on my decision to send him home because I needed him to really think about what he wanted to do. Because as I said earlier, to be here and not have your head and heart in it, it's too difficult here. It's the challenges in the classroom, the challenges within the football program are great, and I needed him to go home. And it's similar to what I did, and a lot of people don't know this, but I did the same thing with Ishaq Williams before at the end of the break. And he's come back with his head and heart in it, and you can see that on the field. And so, yeah, I knew he was coming back. We had already had good discussion as to his just decision to come back relative to that time off, but it was ongoing as to whether his head and heart was in it.
How does the rest of the team react to an announcement like this?
Doesn't really affect them, It's one of those things that it's a team, and when you have a team, if it was, doubles in tennis and that was your tennis partner, it might affect you a little bit. But, when you've got a football team of 85 guys, look, the guys that are here, they understand how difficult it is. The challenges that you have on a day-to-day basis. And they signed up for that. That's why they're here. I'm here for the same reasons. I didn't come to Notre Dame because I thought this is a place to retire to, okay? This is a place that has great challenges, and I wanted to be part of that. And our players do too. And if your head and heart isn't in it as a football coach, as the head coach, you need to go somewhere else. But my head, my heart is in what we're doing here, and I have to have that from our players. So it doesn't really affect them because they're in it 100% committed.
Brian, you and Aaron both referenced the state of Florida. Was it a climate thing? Was it?
I don't think so. I don't think it had much to do with that. I think, there are a lot of things that I won't get into relative to the personal conversations that we had, Eric, but I would tell you that, and again, I know you want more specific information. It wasn't geographical as much as it was a comfort level. And that's really as far as I'll go with it.
Brian, as a head coach, is there a danger about being too accommodating to a really good or a great player to try to convince him to be happy and stay with you if his head is hurt?
Oh, absolutely, Pete. I think, whether I was at Grand Valley State, Central Michigan, Cincinnati, the dynamics are the same as it relates to your team and making sure that there's a standard across the board. And I think there is a point where, listen, you're either in or you're not. And we're not, like in recruiting, we're laying our cards on the table. Here's who we are. You know what I mean? This is what you're going to get when you come here. We're not going to come in and say, hey, you don't have to live in the dorms. No, you got to live in the dorms. We don't say, hey, it's easy in the classroom. Don't worry about it. We don't say, hey, don't worry about it. It never snows here. Though it doesn't seem like it snows here much anymore. But the fact of the matter is, when you're opened up like that, then you have to be that same way within the program. And, we wish him the best.
Do you plan on giving him an unconditional release to go wherever he wants to go?
We're discussing that right now. We're certainly not going to hold him back. Anybody that doesn't want to be here, we're not going to hold him back and take his future away from him. But we'll discuss that. That's the next stage, which we'll get into and start talking about those issues.
But is your anticipation it'll be a school in Florida given the statements today?
My initial conversation with him was to be back in the state of Florida, yes. So as to what that is, I'm sure you guys will be able to decide where that school is. But we're way too far or way too soon, because no releases have been given for communication. Then you get into tampering situations. So none of that has occurred. And I feel comfortable with what I talked to Aaron last night and this morning, that the next step is to get his academics taken care of, and then where he ends up.
Did you sense that maybe he wasn't all in during the season last year, or was that more of just going into the second semester?
No, I think it was more, he's in his third semester as a mid-year guy. I think more of it was, during this stretch of January, February, March, and again, some of it is you got a guy that is young, and you want to see him mature, and then when you hit a point where it's not about growing up, it's about where your heart is, and so that's where we got to this point of decision. But no, during the season's easy, as you know, you play games. You know what I mean? So that keeps you fired up. And when he got in here as an early enrollee, it's the anticipation of playing, and then the unknown when you come to going to Notre Dame. So I think it was after he got through the season. Then where's your head at? And that's how we got to the decision.
Brian, you referenced you went through a similar process with Ishak. Can you shed just a little bit of light? And when you mentioned coming back from break, you meant winter break?
Yeah, over winter break, and it's not, Ishak would be one. I mean, I could give you probably 2 or 3 other examples. My point was more on that it's something that I have to be on top of every single day. I've got to walk through that locker room every day, and I got to be able to see where do we have some issues with kids that need to understand that they have to be 100% about Notre Dame, or they're not going to make it here. And Ishak wasn't. I don't think it was about Ishak not wanting to be here. He had to make that decision that he was going to excel at Notre Dame. And now he's come back with that attitude. You can see it in the classroom, and you can see it on the football field. But there would be other examples, too. It would be unfair to just mark Ishak as that one guy.
Coach, there's been a couple of players that have left this spring, and then on
Who else has left this spring?
Was it, didn't T. Shepard?
Yeah, but he was never on the team,
well,
yeah.
I stand corrected on that. And then on signing day, there was a late switch, and I know he was never actually part of the program and all that. But are you starting to maybe reevaluate the type of kids that you recruit, or is there something maybe the coaching staff needs to analyze when you're in the recruiting process to make sure that a kid is a better fit here?
Oh, we look at that all the time, absolutely. Yeah, but I think everybody knew that, and we have incredible distinctions, and we're not afraid to talk about those distinctions, as I mentioned earlier, in the recruiting process. So we're laying our cards on the table. People know that we're not walking around, selling a different Notre Dame. We're selling who we are and what we're about, and so we'll be consistent with that. And I think there's always, listen, I've been in it 25 years. People are going to quit all the time. It happens. It's just part of the process, especially when you got, 75, 85 guys. Why is it newsworthy? Because he's a really good player. We wouldn't be here today if it was the backup left tackle or the third string center. It's a story because he's a really good player, but it happens all the time. It just happened to be a really good player.
Anything else?
Just one quick thing, as far as filling that role, can you play Stephon and Capron together?
Oh, we feel great about. We have so many options, in terms of Cap, and he's had a great spring, and now he gets pushed back to that starting position. Tuitt has great flexibility, as you know. We really love what Sheldon Day is doing, and we even haven't put Springman and Hounshell on the field yet. So we feel really blessed that we're able to, feel really good about our defensive line, even losing a really good player like Aaron Lynch.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming out.